Okay, so hello guys, what's Palmolives here. I apologize for what had just happened. My brother entered my room and I accidentally pressed to stop recording the video entirely. So yeah, uh, part 1 is simply going to be putting up, well, part 1 and part 2. So yeah, let's continue, shall we? And also sorry about that. But let's see, I left off with Bell beginning his sword training. And well, as Michael, the former leader of the Royal Guard, simply started training Bell. And well, Bell is an extremely fast learner. He's able to use multiple weapons, that being a spear, a bow and arrow, a sword, although the one which he is most fond of is a great sword. With Michael taking a mental note of this, because a great sword was also the favorite weapon of his mother, so yeah. And well, for the next 3 years, Bell has only been learning how to use a sword, that being a great sword. And well, after he's completely learned that, well, not completely, he still has a long way to go, although at the age of 11 he was able to best several, well, regular guardsmen which were like 21 years old, so pretty good. And he was even also able to best one knight of the Magical Academy, although the knights of the Magical Academy weren't exactly the cream of the crop, as you say. But as soon as he turned 12 years old, that's when his grandfather also started learning him fire magic, or at least some of the more basic spells which he could use. And well, that's when his grandfather also saw something. Bell could, just like his mother, infuse different objects with the element of fire, which was, well, rare. Even by dragon standards, it was rare to be able to imbue their own element into a weapon or something like that. And yeah, Bell was able to do it, which was something extremely rare and which most people couldn't do. And, well, how do you call it again? Has his grandfather started teaching him some other spells. This time, these spells were a bit more advanced, like Flaming Tornado, Flame Whip, Flame Cage, Fire Blast, Fireball, Fire Spear, Fire Emblems, Fire Swords, and then finally Fire Runes. The Fire Runes essentially using fire, that being magic fire, to carve a rune into anything he wanted to. And, well, yeah. Bell actually wasn't able to do that, at least not yet, because that wasn't an extremely advanced, well, type of magic using. Something which even his mother had trouble with making, even though his mother was, well, if you guys, actually, I didn't say that. His mother was 375 years old. So, yeah, by dragon standards, she was still in her teens, with her being the youngest of the dragon kings and queens. But still, she's currently dead, so yeah, a short life. But, well, as Bell started messing around with him being able to put his own element into different types of magical, well, into different types of items, Bell, over the years, well, after 4 more years, Bell is currently 16 years old. And well, that's when Bell is given essentially his first test. That test being given by Michael. He was given his, well, proper armor. Not the armor on the screen, that comes a bit later. He was given the task of essentially going to a cave. Excuse me, guys. going into a cave and killing every single monster he found. And well, with Bell simply nodding and doing exactly as his teacher said. As he went into the cave, he still had his broadsword, although it was a magical broadsword which could change sizes depending on its user. So yeah, the great sword looked more like a long sword. So yeah. And as Bell entered the cave with like proper armor, that being like some light armor on his torso, a light helmet, and also an armor on his legs. He enters the cave and he gets attacked by, well, essentially giant ants. And he's able to kill quite a few of them, although that's when he notices something. These monsters don't, well, drop dead, and like, they simply turn into some sort of a dust, and then after he kills every single one of them, weird crystal pops out. And well, the reason for that is that this area is beginning to be affected by the influences of the Black Dragon, which I'm simply gonna say that the Black Dragon is essentially almost a god amongst dragons, and that his own power was the thing which created the dungeons. And yeah, like in all of my what if Bell what ifs, the dungeons are everywhere. Those being smaller, medium, large, and well, the largest one, the one being that sorry guys, the one that goes all the way up to the heavens. And yeah, as Bell simply starts to collect all of these magical crystals, he goes ahead deeper and deeper into the cave. Eventually, he starts fighting Lizard Man, and well, they are quite a bit challenging for him, although he's able to kill them one by one. Although when he gets attacked by 5 of them, that's when he sort of, well, reaches a wall, with him not being able to beat all 5 of them at once. Although, that's when he remembers something. Oh, right, I have magic. And that's when he uses Fireball on 2 of them, with him actually finding out something. Even though the lizard men, because of their hard scales and natural immunity to fire, yeah, they got burnt to a crisp. Even their items got completely burnt. With Bell simply thinking to himself, okay, how much exactly did I prove? Okay, how much exactly fire magic did I put into my fire? And well, yeah, that's just the thing. With Bell's fire was several times stronger than his mother's. So yeah. And well, as Bell, the other 3 lizard men, as they, damn it. Say what, guys? As the other 3 lizard men actually started running away from him, Bell took his greatsword and cut all 3 of them in one single motion down. And after all 3 of them fall down, and that's when something strange starts to happen. The entire cave starts shaking, with Bell having no clue what it is. And that's when someone else comes out. That someone being a lizardman captain. With the lizardman captain being, well, a rather powerful lizardman, which was like 10 times stronger than your average one. So yeah, as Deku sees him, and the lizardman captain is towering over him, even though Bell is currently, well, like I said, 6.7 feet tall, yeah, it's a bit of a hassle trying to fight him. But eventually he succeeds. He uses heavy and slow attacks to try and whittle down, that is not whittle down, but like to get a decisive strike on the Lizardman, with the lizardman using, well, sort of medium slashes and mediumly, well, fast attacks to try and kill Bell. Although Bell is able to win the battle, with Bell jumping up, imbuing his greatsword with fire magic, and chopping off the lizardman's head. And well, after that was done, the dungeon starts to shake yet again, with Bale having absolutely no clue what that meant. Although that's when every single one of the monsters which were there, simply that being that they're magical crystals, all combined into one. God damn it, why am I yawning so much? So what the guys has all of the magical crystals combined into one. Now this magical crystal shines a light brighter, and Bale also notices that, well, that the magic in this magical crystal is a lot more potent than anything else, than any of the other, well, gemstones which they had at the Magical Academy. That's when Bell takes this to his grandfather, and as his grandfather sees this, he is, well, both, essentially his mind is blown up, like he can't believe this. But then he also gets a bit scared, as he tells Bell that this was all from one single dungeon, correct? With Bell replying, yes, that was all taken from one dungeon. And well, he asks his grandfather what's wrong, and that's when his grandfather simply replies that these dungeons have started to appear ever since the Black Dragon came back to the continent. We believe that these magical crystals can also be used to power, well, monsters. With Bell now being a bit scared because he wasn't expecting that. But anyways, as Bell is sent onto more and more missions, with him fighting against minotaurs, trolls, goblins, orcs, essentially, how do you say it, against some gigantic lizards, even several wyverns. Yeah, after some time, well, that being several years, Bell is now 19 years old. And well, he's currently celebrating his coming of age ceremony, both with his grandfather, some of the grand mages, most of the friends which he had made in the Magical Academy, and Michael, with all of them being happy and congratulating him on his coming of age ceremony. And now, as, how do you say it, his grandfather comes, and essentially he gives him a gift. That gift being, well, a rather badass looking helmet, or at least what Bell thought to himself. And after that, he also gives him the other, with the other Grand Mages, each giving him a part of the armor set. And after everything was done, he saw in a complete, well, set of armor which had a dragonic theme to it. And well, that's when he hears something else, something heavy being dragged on the floor. And well, that's when Michael simply comes out from behind him and gives him his new greatsword, which is simply called Dragon's Bane. With, as Bell asks him what's up with that name, he tells him that this sword was the same sword which was used to defeat the Black Dragon. That's why it was called like that. And also, the skull of a dragon which can be seen on it symbolizes the first Black Dragon Queen, which sacrificed herself to, well, beat her husband. And yeah, as Bel puts on this armor and takes his new great sword, he, well, notices something. The armor is extremely light, along with the sword. And well, that's when he asks them why were they having so much trouble carrying both this armor and this sword. It's extremely easy, actually. And that's when both Michael and his grandfather simply say, it's because you're a half dragon, Bel. You have a bit more strength than we do. With Bel simply replying with, oh, right, forgot about that. And just like that, Michael and, how do you call him? Being both Michael and Bel's grandfather, simply wishing good luck. With Bel simply asking them what do they mean. With his grandfather replying, Bel, you have reached 19 years old. You can go into the world and carve out your own path. Although you must always be wary of gods and their familiars. They're still hunting you down, just like they are hunting the golden dragon's daughter. And well, yeah. As Bel replies, thank you for your concern, but I believe that I'm ready to take on any familiar if they even try to get to me. And plus, I still have some unsettled business with that bitch Freya and Loki. Both of them shall pay for what they did to my mother and my father, and well, their entire kingdom. I will make them pay. With his grandfather replying, indeed you will, Bel. Indeed you will. And after they said that, Bel leaves the Magical Academy. He gets on a boat and goes to the northernmost nation of, well, let's simply call it the Nordic Union. Being a union of essentially 7 different Nordic countries. And well, as he gets down there, he immediately sees something. He sees that these people do worship gods, that being like Odin and Thor, although he sees absolutely no statues of Freya or Loki, which sort of, yeah, he's sort of surprised by that. Although that's when a member of the Thor's familia simply goes ahead and, well, asks Bel, is he new here? With Bel responding, yes, I am. Who exactly are you? Well, I'm a member of Thor's familia. And as soon as Bel hears familia, yeah, his hand is on his sword. And that's when the adventurer, his name being Ulgi, simply replies, wait, I do not mean you any harm. None of the adventurers in the Nordic Union do. Because, yeah, let's just say that only some of the gods wanted the dragons dead. And by the fact that you have both horns of a dragon and a tail of a dragon, I simply presume that you yourself were some sort of a dragon, or a Dragonoid. But yeah, Thor and Odin, and like most of the other Nordic gods, weren't exactly up to kill the dragons. Mainly because the ice dragons were sort of there and protected us from the black dragon. Yeah, it's a complicated story which also involved with Thor getting married to the Queen of the Ice Dragons, but then she was killed by Loki, and then Thor went ahead to war with Loki, and everything was essentially a gigantic, well, mess. With several civil wars also occurring in the realm of the gods. So yeah. Zeus, along with, well, Zeus and Hera are no longer the two big shots, or the two main gods. Now it's Freya and Loki, sadly. But yeah, the North is essentially a land where dragons, or at least what's left of them, even those with completely pure blood, can be. Although, as you know, the Black Dragon isn't exactly welcomed here, he just set up shop. And the Golden Dragon is currently, well, being held captive by Freya. And that's mostly it, which you need to know about the North. Well, if you want to know anything else, you should probably go ahead and to the either Adventurers Guild or anything else really. Anyone else can tell you about the normal day-to-day stuff. With Bell thanking Ulgi. And that's as Bell simply goes not to the Adventurers Guild, but rather to the Bounty Hunters Guild, because Bell promised to himself that he would never, under any circumstances, join a pathetic familia who uses the power of a god for regular humans to get stronger. And well, as he goes to the Bounty Hunter Guild, he sees several posters of wanted people, several posters of them wanting to kill, well, essentially skin wolves, those being people who were cursed into being werewolf-like creatures, although they're not as strong as werewolves. He sees several of them which are supposed to go ahead and kill some mythical monsters, several sea monsters on the bounty hunter list as well. And well, Bell simply goes ahead and chooses the one where he needs to kill a pack of skin wolves. And as Bell gets his greatsword out, he goes ahead and starts walking through the forest. And as he starts walking, somebody with bright golden hair and armor quite similar to his own is simply watching him from above. That someone being the daughter of the Golden Dragon King, which you are going to be meeting in the second, well, part of this What If. And anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you have a, well, great day.